we on Earth? Are we a hologram? Where does the darkness end? Do you want to believe anything is possible on Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountains? Tune in to WWCU FM every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. for your favorite conspiracies. The answer to 1984 is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies.
Guess who's back? Back again. Manny's back. Tell a friend. Did you miss me? 'Cause I missed you. Don't touch that dial because the NSA will find out if you turned away from the craziest show in the mountains. Manny's Rockin' Conspiracy starts right now. Live from the campus of Western Carolina University in Cullowhee, it's time for the craziest show in the mountains. I am talking none other than Manny's Rockin' Conspiracies, broadcasting throughout Jackson and Haywood counties in beautiful Western North Carolina on 90.5 WWCU. I am your host, the one who wants to go to Area 51. It's that Manny guy. It's Manny Jones, back here again, giving you the conspiracies and the wonderful news in the world of the paranormal. It is so good to be back. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday, September 1st. It's Labor Day weekend. You get one day off. How are you going to spend your day off on Monday? Why don't you give me a call and let me know at 828-227-7173. That's 828-227-7173. The question is, how will you spend your Monday off? I'm going to spend mine probably looking for Bigfoot. He's somewhere. I have a feeling that Bigfoot is a student here at Western. He's got to be. He's got to be. If you're new to the area, or this is your first time tuning in to the craziest show in the mountains, welcome. I am Manny Jones. Just a little bit about me. I am a junior at Western Carolina University. When I am not on the radio telling you about the craziest conspiracies I can find and playing you the hardest rock and heavy metal, I announce for the athletic department, and I can be found all over campus, more or less. I also would like to engage in UFO hunting because there's something out there. But if you want to keep up with me outside of this station, outside of Western Carolina, you can find me on Twitter at Manny Radio Derg, D-E-R-G. Same username for Instagram. And on my Facebook, facebook.com/Manny Rockin. What's happened today? Well, in the first hour of today's show, I'm going to cover news stories that I missed. Hopefully in a bigger detail, such as the Facebook event known as Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. In news such as, what else do we have in here? There's a lot. Someone in Pennsylvania created a bomb to alert the police about UFOs. A soccer team in Spain has changed their name to Flat Earth FC. And final studies about the alien probe known as Oumuamua. All that and more in the second hour. We're talking about current events in the news, in the world of paranormal. It does a $10,000 bet between two friends in New Zealand over whether or not the Earth is flat. You heard that correct. $10,000 in a bet on if the Earth is flat. You'll hear all that and more here on the craziest show in the mountains. But first, we're going to kick it off to the hard rock. And queued up, I have Spiders by System of a Down. This is 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. And welcome back. This is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountains, broadcasting on 90.5 WWCU FM. In the first hour of the return broadcast, I like to call it, we're talking about stories that, well, I missed while I was on the air. And I think the most notable one that I have to get to is a story about a Facebook event. Now, on Facebook, you can create events for anything, really. It's intended to be used for events such as the company picnic or a birthday party or high school graduation, things like that. But some people have made joke events. When Hurricane Florence was coming close to Florida last year, someone created a Facebook event known as Play Nickelback to Scare Away Hurricane Florence. These are all joke events, but one that really caught people's eyes was an event called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. This was created by Maddie Roberts, whom, after listening to Bob Lazar, now you know who Bob Lazar is, he more or less claimed to have worked at Area 51 as an engineer on the Joe Rogan Experience. And he claimed to work an underground facility, and he just detailed in great detail, more or less, how big the saucers were. So he created the event, Matty Roberts, that is. It plans for a raid from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific time on September 20th, 2019. The event was quoted as saying, "If we Naruto run, we can move faster than their bullets. Let's see them aliens." Now, if you don't know what a Naruto run is, more or less, it's modeled after the run of a character named Naruto in the Japanese anime series Naruto. The characters in there, especially Mr. Naruto, will run with their arms stretched behind them, head down, their torso forward. The event had 40 signatures in 3 days, but it went viral. As of now, there are at least 2 million people that have said that they are going, and 1.5 million that are interested. Now, the creator of this has capitalized on plans and is making a festival there at Rachel, Nevada, the town that is right by Area 51. But some people, believe it or not, I think maybe you could believe this, took it seriously. Georgia Knapp, who is a reporter out in Nevada and has done stuff for Coast to Coast AM, was quoted on Twitter as saying, "This plan has been proposed multiple times over the last 30 years. Then, as now, it's a really bad idea." And he has said, quote, to quote him, "There are no aliens at Area 51, no alien tech either. And that base security is more than capable of handling trespassers." All I can say is, if we Naruto run, they can't catch us. But there's all kinds of ways you can see Area 51. I know of a fact, there is a company that does tours there. You can't go inside, of course, but you can see the outside. So That's just my dream vacation, is to go there, to Area 51. Now, because of this event, there have been events such as to storm a genealogical vault at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to storm Loch Ness. Hey, I want to see Nessie too, so I can agree with that. And the Bermuda Triangle. Oh man, this is an amazing, and the sad part about this event, if you want to know the sad part about this event, is that generals had to be briefed on this, because you never know if someone's going to show up at the gates of Groom Lake saying, hey, I want to see them aliens. You've been hiding the aliens and give them to me right now. You never know what's going to happen. So they've been briefed on this. There were photos that were leaked on the internet a couple weeks ago of United States Army generals being briefed on what a Naruto run was. This is real. U.S. generals were briefed on the way a character in a Japanese anime series runs, all because some guy, a college student like me, created a joking event to storm Area 51, and U.S. generals have to be briefed on what this is. This is the best timeline to ever exist. I don't care what alternate timelines that are out there. You can't beat this timeline. 29. This is the best timeline. I mean, it really is. What do you think? Are you in on this plan? Why don't you give me a call at 828-227-7173, or you can let me know on Twitter at MannyRadioDurg. I recommend it. Whew, it feels so good. It just feels so good to be back. I am so happy. Let me try and calm down for a second. And let's kick it back to the music. I have Auslander from Rammstein, all the way from Germany, made in Germany. You're listening to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, only on 90.5 WWCU FM. And that was Ocean Man by Ween. If you can find it on our Facebook page for WCU Radio, there is an old video of me, freshman year. Freshman year Manny Jones is an interesting experience. Let's just put it like that. There is a video of me. It's about 10 seconds, I believe, of me at a remote we did at the Killian Annex on It was Advising Day, where I am singing Ocean Man. Ocean Man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. And that has been one of my favorite moments in radio. But back to 2019, this is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, hosted by Manny Jones, broadcasting on 90.5 WWCU Calloway. Now, here is an interesting story that when I first took a look at it, I couldn't believe it. So a man was arrested for building a bomb to get the attention of police. Well, if you're building an IED, you're going to definitely get attention of the police and maybe the federal government. This more or less, authorities say David Oxenrider approached the manager of a hotel in Myersville, Pennsylvania, and informed him that he had a bomb. Authorities arrived on the scene, and his intention was not to cause any harm, but get this. He told police, Mr. Oxenrider did, that he had an encounter with a UFO ship and aliens 5 years ago, and was told by the extraterrestrials that, quote, humans needs to start being good people or else they were going to destroy the Earth with a nuclear laser beam. Sounds like a plot right out of a science fiction movie, but I want to believe. Oxenrider had informed investigators that he's been trying to share this message, which he claimed that no one listens to him. I would listen to him. let's put this out there. This public service announcement from Manny Jones. If you have seen UFOs, if you have seen cryptids, I talked to the cryptid investigator of the Asheville Cryptid and Paranormal Society a couple months ago. Why don't you need to let me know immediately? I'll get you on this show. And he went on to lament, and what happened here? He has attempted to alert a number of government agencies about the aliens' ultimatum, but his efforts have been futile because people say he is crazy. And now he faces the very serious charges of manufacturing a weapon of mass destruction, as well as causing or risking a catastrophe. If I was going to alert people about aliens coming to me, I would broadcast it on the internet. You know, some people will publish that. Coast to Coast AM, I'm sure, would do that. And a bunch of other things all over YouTube would. YouTube would too. So people would listen to that. If you claimed you've been had this from aliens, people are going to listen. Especially if you put it on YouTube. I mean, it's been a fun day so far. If you got any requests or any comments about what's happening on the show, give me a call at 828-227-7173. I want to give a quick shout out before I go to the next song to my dad. He's currently stationed in Iraq for the United States Army. I hope all is well over there. He said, and I'm quoting Manny Jones, not tan enough for Jones. Well, Dad, considering how sunburns happen much more frequently in the mountains because of the Illuminati, I am sure maybe I'll come back with a tan. I know when I left home, I had a bit of an olive-colored skin because I had been out in the sun a little too much, but maybe that will change. Just maybe. Someone can hope, right? I would hope, at least. Let me get something set up here. I've been scrambling all over campus. Football was yesterday. I had announced a game today, so I've been all over the place. So I'm gonna take you to we'll go a little bit far back. Here's Dr. Feelgood from Motley Crue. You're listening to 90.5 WWCU. This is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies. And that was Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth here on Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountains. If you're just tuning in, I've talked about the Raid Area 51 Facebook event and how a man tried to alert people about his visit with aliens by building a bomb. But here's a story that's unique that happened around July from Coast to Coast AM. A professional soccer team in Spain was known as Móstoles Balompi. They are now known as Flat Earth FC. FC meaning football club. Javi Povez, the president of the club, declared that we are born to unite the voices of millions of Flat Earth movement followers and all those people who are looking for answers. He went on to note that football is the most popular sport and has the most impact worldwide, so creating a club dedicated to the Flat Earth movement is the best way to have a constant presence in the media. I hope we get a broadcast of our games. This is Flat Earth FC against Manchester United. Oh my God. That's a first for me. That's a first. I've never heard of someone naming their team after a movement. And his unique thing is that his take is that football is the most popular sport. So calling it after a worldwide known, that's starting to get big, I guess, conspiracy theory to advance that. It's just unique, but it's different. They've started selling merchandise though, so I don't know. Maybe they're bound to be invited to the Flat Earth conference, though. That's bound to happen. Now, on to other stories. I mentioned UFOs. Rasmussen asked 1,000 Americans a variety of questions about UFOs. From the poll, 61% indicated that they believe that intelligent life likely exists on other planets. 12% of the people surveyed said that they believe unidentified flying objects are a threat to national security, as compared to a sizable 61%. 11% of the respondents said that they had either seen a UFO or knew someone who did, while 80% said no. I don't know about the other 9%, but now, about a month before this poll came out, which came out around July, the question was, does the government know something about UFOs that is not being shared with the public? More than half surveyed that such a scenario was either likely, 28%, or somewhat likely, 26%. 27% found that the idea was somewhat unlikely. And in this survey, this is what the survey found, that men aged 45 to 50 years old, making less than $40,000 a year, and living in either the South or Northeast, were most likely to be believers in a UFO cover-up. Well, hey, I just want to see some aliens. Come on. That's all I want is to see some aliens. That's all I want is I just want to hopefully someday I'll get a chance to see some aliens. I don't know. I know there's a lot of mysterious things out there, and that's the unique thing about UFOs, and I think why we're attached to them so much is that they're so unique, and the idea of there's life outside of Earth and the solar system is a big thought to us. So that's why I think UFOs are such a big deal. But why do you think UFOs are the big deal that they are? Why don't you give me a call at 828-227-7173. Again, 828-227-7173. Queued up is the Presidents of the United States of America with their cover of the Bugles, the Buggles, hit song, Video Killed the Radio Star. That sounds like a conspiracy to me, but here it is. This is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies on WWCU FM 90.5. It's the 7 o'clock Numa here on Manny's Rockin Conspiracy.
Hajduk. Și te rog, iubirea mea, primește fericirea. Alo, alo, sunt eu, Picasso, ți-am dat bip și sunt voinic, dar să știi, nu-ți cer nimic. Vrei să pleci, dar numai ei, numai ei.
Oh, I love playing that. That was only supposed to be a one-time thing, but I remember I was walking on campus and I ran into a friend of mine, Willie B, and he said, "Hey Manny, I loved the Numa Numa." So it's been a tradition at 7 p.m. that I play the Numa Numa because that song is legendary. Oh, yes, yes. Welcome back to Manny's Rockin Conspiracy. This is the first hour. I talked about the Raid Area 51 story. A man tried to alert authorities about the aliens with a bomb. And a soccer team changed their name to Flat Earth FC. These were main stories that I wanted to focus on that I had missed over the summer. In the second hour of the program, I like to focus on current stories. And the first one is a rather unique one because it's local. This happened in McDowell County, North Carolina, about 60 miles out from Tullowee. A Bigfoot researcher in North Carolina believes that he stumbled upon the famed cryptid Bigfoot while walking in the woods earlier this month. Doug Teague was retrieving some small trail cameras in a forested area in McDowell County on August 16th when he heard a mysterious tapping sound coming from somewhere nearby. Now, Teague did the right thing, and he pulled out his cell phone to record the scene and captured some photos and a video of what he contends is a Bigfoot sitting with its back next to him. And he also found a number of intriguing prints in the nearby mud. Some may say that it's a bear and it's not a Bigfoot, but he says bears don't throw rocks. And he explained that his dog, whose name is Crazy Daisy, that's a very interesting name for your canine, was with him and said she was going nuts, but staying close to me. He recalled and noted that had the creature had been a bear, his canine companion would have approached the animal. Apparently, this is his fourth such experience over his many years of looking for the elusive Sasquatch. And he did say about the people that are skeptics, people don't believe in them, but they're here. Now, I'm curious because before I left campus in May, I talked to Cryptid Guy of the Asheville Cryptid and Paranormal Society, who told me about his cryptid experiences. If you want to hear the podcast, it's called The Manny Files. Check it out on podcast.wwcufm.com or wherever podcasts are available. He told me about the cryptids he has seen. He has told me he saw a dogman. Now, considering how local this is, I'm curious if Cryptid Guy actually investigated this, because of how close everything is. Maybe this confirms my theory that I said at the top of the hour when I started this show at 6 o'clock. Perhaps Bigfoot really is a WCU student. Now you might say, but Manny Jones, if Bigfoot was a WCU student, I would see him on campus. Well, look, it's simple. He takes online classes. I said it. There you go. He takes online classes. That's how he stays hidden. Though graduation's going to be unique when Chancellor Brown goes on the microphone and says, and announces Bigfoot, and Bigfoot walks on the stage and gets his diploma. Bigfoot going to Western. What do you think about this? Do you think Bigfoot's roaming around the Western North Carolina region? Why don't you give me a call at 828-227-7173, 828-227-7173. I'll give a quick shout out to Dan from The Edge, also from WWCU FM. You can hear his show Thursdays 8 to 10 on WWCU 90.5. Austin Page, my man Austin, was a former DJ here, hosting way back Wednesdays and Waves of Aquarius here before he graduated. Now he's in Charleston as a board operator for their local news station. Hope everything's going well out there for you. So this is going to be a fun show. And I got some brand new music. Queued up is Cold from Korn's upcoming new album, The Nothing. It's a very rockin' hit. You are going to love it. This is the craziest show in the mountains, Manny's Rockin Conspiracies. That was The Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin. Here on the craziest show in the mountains, Manny's Rockin Conspiracies. Now, I would focus a little bit more on current events, but there's a story that I forgot, and I just feel that I have to talk about because one word and one word only: aliens. Now, during last school year, I talked about an interesting theory. There was this odd interstellar object nicknamed Oumuamua, and some Harvard astronomers made some major headlines last year when they postulated that Oumuamua may have been an extraterrestrial probe powered by a solar light sail. His theory was quickly dismissed as speculation, but the astronomer from Harvard, Avi Loeb, has doubled down saying, "I don't care what people say." Now, in most scientific journals, they get re-examined. Now, this was re-examined in a journal called Nature Astronomy. Researchers have concluded that they found, quote, "no compelling evidence to favor an alien explanation." In fact, they actually thought it was ridiculous, saying some arguments in favor of this hypothesis are simply wrong. And they noted the anomalies surrounding the object cited by lovable alien theorists such as movement, shape, trajectory, which, according to the journal, could be naturally explained. And they did not outright eliminate the possibility it could be an alien, but they stressed that, quote, "assertions that Oumuamua may be artificial are not justified when the wide body of current knowledge about solar system minor bodies and planetary formulation is considered." Now, since Oumuamua is currently speeding out of our solar system, we may never truly know what exactly Oumuamua is, whether it's just some natural formation out of the solar system, or it truly is an alien probe. And if it is an alien probe, then I, for one, welcome our new alien overlords. I know it should be robot, but aliens. Hopefully they are listening to my show right now. That'd be pretty cool. Alien listening to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies. What's that Earthling guy talking about now? When you come back from the show, when we come back, you're gonna hear about a man who claimed that Bigfoot was behind break-ins, and a bet about the flat Earth in New Zealand cost them both $10,000, and Mad Mike Hughes, the daredevil and flat Earth enthusiast, hopes to go into space to prove the Earth is flat. But first, we gotta get back to the music. I have a song that I probably could have played at the start of this show, but I think it's a good thing to play it now. This is Aliens Exist by Blink-182. You're listening to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU Cullowhee. Someday, I'll see those aliens. Welcome back to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies. Or 5 minutes halfway through the hour, I wanted to go through a really quick story. If you're listening in, I've been talking about current events in the world of the paranormal and conspiracy theories. And here's a unique story. A man in New Hampshire has believed that Bigfoot is the culprit to a series of break-ins occurred in the state. Now, Caleb White is the man behind this. He wrote a letter to his local newspaper that could be genuine, or it is a pretty well done joke. And he took issue with authorities, saying that bears are responsible for a number of recent incidents of forced entry involving homes and cars. And he declared, quote, "It is glaringly obvious that Bigfoot is the culprit." Now, one might ask Mr. White, well, what's your evidence? And he pointed to a particular case in a shuttered ski resort on Spruce Mountain, where traps were subsequently set and a bear was said to have been captured. However, another forced entry took place thereafter, which led White to say, there is no way two bears thought to do the exact same thing 2 times in a row. Regarding the vehicle break-ins, he has argued that bears cannot easily open doors because they do not have opposable thumbs. The Sasquatch, on the other hand, does, he said, which allows the creature to open doors like humans. And he observed later on that there are no scratches on the cars, which he found to be, to quote him, incongruous with the bear hypothesis because their claws would easily take the paint off a vehicle. And the most interesting part about his theory of Bigfoot being responsible for break-ins in New Hampshire, he said it's not merely an oversight, but a full-blown conspiracy. The presence of Sasquatch is covered up by Fish and Game officials. What he means by that is, well, I don't know. What he means by that, I don't know. But he is claiming there is a full-blown conspiracy by New Hampshire Game & Watch or in his local town. This article does not say his local town. That Bigfoot is behind all these break-ins of cars and homes. And the Game and Fish and Game don't want you to... Fish and Game don't want you to find out about Bigfoot. There's Bigfoot all over the place. We talked about a case in McDowell County, North Carolina, and in New Hampshire. He's all over the place. I'm amazed. We're going to pause a bit for station identification. I have Kill Switch Engage queued up in the system, and when we come back, we'll talk about the bet about the flat Earth resulting in $10,000 and the Daredevil wanting to go to space to prove that the Earth is flat. Don't touch that dial. The NWO knows that you've changed off of 90.5 WWCU FM. This is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies.
Western Carolina University is WWCU Callaway, WWOO Dillsboro.
Hello, I'm Mark Couture, and I'd like to invite you to tune in to Catamount Community Radio Sunday mornings from 10 to noon right here on Power 90.5. When you hear the tires screeching, you'll know that Catamount Community Radio is on the air. You might hear some jazz. Perhaps some Japanese electronica. Or something funky. Freeform radio for Colorway and beyond. More fun than two, you know. So get yourself some coffee, fire up the wireless, and we'll listen to some records together. Catamount Community Radio, Sunday mornings from 10 to 12, right here on Power 90.5.
That was Angel by Rammstein, here on the craziest show in the mountains, Manny's Rockin' Conspiracies, broadcasting throughout Jackson and Haywood counties on 90.5 WWCU FM. This next story in the world of the paranormal is a unique one. It concerns the flat Earth, or as my friend in Alabama would say, the space waffles. This is in New Zealand. Here, let me set the tone for you. Back in January, flat Earth enthusiasts Louis Lons and his friend Jamie Sutherland met up for dinner. As they were talking, they got talking about the flat Earth theory. And Lons said he was a strong believer in the idea. And a debate sparked, and Lons more or less bet Sutherland 10,000 United States dollars that the Earth is flat. A couple weeks later, the two ran to the gas station, and Lons claims took a very dark turn. Sutherland stormed up to him and demanded the $10,000 and said, quote, "If you don't pay it, I'll get a crossbow, I'll shoot you and your father, and put you in the trunk, and they'll never see you again." And Lons did what any person would do. He told his father about it, and his dad was, of course, not too thrilled. He talked to authorities, and this wound up in court. Think about that. A case about the flat Earth ended up in court. At a hearing, Lons' claim was that the bet had been a joke all along, and he harbored no ill will toward his friend, simply wishing that they could put the whole flat Earth fiasco behind him. Now, Sutherland defended himself by denying he had threatened Mr. Lons, but his lawyer said, quote, "In the real world, your statements have consequences, as opposed to the fringe world that you live in on the internet," and declared that this client wants his money. Well, What world is this? Is this the flat Earth, the diamond Earth, or the round Earth? Which one is it? Unfortunately for Mr. Sutherland, the judge presiding over the case called a meeting between the two men to mediate the matter. And the case was dismissed. Sutherland apologized to Land and has indicated that he has given up on the $10,000 bet. I just think it's amazing how the flat Earth has now gone to court. We have had court cases about the flat Earth. I don't know what to say anymore. Whew, this is interesting. When you come back on Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, back to the Space Waffles as Mad Mike Hughes hopes to claim in front of NASA and the world that the Earth is flat. How's he going to do it? He's going to fire a rocket, send him into space to prove it all for once. I don't know how that's going to work, but okay. Queued up in the system is Slipknot's Wait and Bleed. You're listening to Manny's Rockin' Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. That was Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne here on the craziest show in the mountains, Manny's Rockin' Conspiracies. You could make the argument that this show is one big crazy train or crazy plane, whatever mode of transportation you prefer. My last story I want to cover before I go back to some music for the last bit before we sign off is one I've been focusing on since I started this program. It concerns Mad Mike Hughes, the daredevil and flat earth enthusiast who has had a goal for the past couple of years, but he's never been able to figure it out or get to the goal he wants. What's his goal, you might ask? Well, he wants to launch himself in a homemade rocket to send him 2,000 feet into the air, get enough into the Earth's atmosphere, and prove that the Earth is flat. He had done a test run, came away unscathed, and came away just fine, but he wants to go to 5,000 feet this month. And he had some issues in 2018, however, and it was a lot of power issues, and a heater on the rocket, which messed up his plans. The interesting part of this is that it's being filmed for an event on the Science Channel called Homemade Astronauts, premiering in 2020. Hopefully he goes somewhere with it, because I'd like to see his reaction when he goes up into space and he realizes that, well, the Earth is like a bowling ball. It's round. It's round. Or it could be a conspiracy. I don't know anymore. Those are all the current events I have. If you got any questions about them, make sure you let me know on Twitter or Instagram. My username there is at Manny, M-A-N-I, Radio, R-A-D-I-O, Derg, D-E-R-G. Let's play one more song before we go to sign off. This is Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, because my little brother keeps asking me for Limp Bizkit. So to Lucas out there in Cameron, North Carolina, keep on rollin', baby. That was Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. Here on the craziest show in the mountains, Manny's Rockin' Conspiracies. I want to thank each and every one of you that has tuned in tonight. It is great to be back. Let's just put it like that. You can hear it in the enthusiasm in my voice. I am so happy to be back and talking about all the crazy conspiracies I can find. I mean, Area 51. If we Naruto run, they can't catch us. Seriously, though, it still amazes me that United States Army generals has been briefed on what a Naruto run is. This is the best timeline. I'll say it again, I'll say it now. Best timeline. But I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to shout out special listeners, Dan from The Edge. You can hear him Thursdays 8 to 10 on WWCU FM. Isaac, all the way in Alabama. My dad, stationed all the way in Iraq, listening in right now. Stay safe over there, Dad. And plenty more out there. Thank you so much for listening in, whether you're in the Wii or online, WWCUFM.com. I'm Manny Jones. This has been Manny's Rockin' Conspiracies. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing all around campus, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Manny Radio Derg. I'm going to turn it over to Jim for Mostly Blues. But until the next time we meet here in the wee, word